Hello, welcome. This is Deana, and I'm here to do your reading today, Cancer, with two decks starting out. We've already laid out some cards for you to get our messages flowing. First, we have the root chakra, the base, the foundation of our essence and our connection to our earthly realm, followed by dynamic. Throat chakra. That one's obvious. Expression, communication, thought forms that become things. Emergence, so something coming through, being witnessed, being seen, bubbling up. And under the deck, 18, cosmic flower. So I'm seeing that this is something, you're giving voice to something in a very clear way that hasn't been done before here in this situation. In my handwritten cards, immediately when I started to clear the energy and ask for some energies to pop up, I immediately got Cancer and leader, entrepreneur, boss, trendsetter. And under the deck, I didn't peek at the rest of it, but under the deck, the initial card is chemistry. You already know. Trust your gut instincts on this one. There's Venus here. Lover, money, or self-image. Never told you. Somebody has something, an emerging thing to say. I feel safe to be myself. Capricorn, that's very root-oriented. And Scorpio, overthinking, stress, nerves. And one more, True North, I feel you're my destiny. So that's very interesting. So someone has safe to be myself. So you have some chemistry with a situation or a person in your life, and I'm feeling here that you've been inspired, I want to say, inspired to bloom into a new direction, something that perhaps you wouldn't have given yourself permission to do in the past is starting to seem more realistic, more practical. It's like, well, why not me? That's what I'm feeling. And so you're putting voice to something that has been inside of you for a very long time, something that's foundational to your person and who you are here and now, and bringing this forward in new ways so that others can see this. And you're coming across as this cosmic flower. Very interesting. So, and cosmic flower always reminds me of a cross section of a DNA double helix braid, and it reminds me that we're being activated at all times by the cosmos. So I'm going to shelf that for a minute and go into the next deck that we have laid out here. We have 50 stars in the sky. That's 51. Did I say 50? Limitless possibilities, followed by 50. Spirit of the river. Oh, I should give you a longer look at that. It's very subtle imagery. Movement toward adventure. So if you can see, that is a figure moving through what looks to be water, but it's very deep. So the river, though, it talks about flow versus stagnancy. That's the biggest differentiating characteristic of the river. It just looks like it's very deep to me. And so it reminds me of the card next to it, the stars in the sky, because of the color palette. And so it's like this sense of connection. So stars in the sky, limitless possibilities, giving voice to something that you haven't ever, or something is coming to your awareness where you just suddenly have an idea of how to make your passions into a profitable, stable, practical career, right? Would be an amazing way to make it. Or you get a brand new gig, because here we see following that, this joyful music card. I just love all of the various dynamic things going on here. And even that, what we'd expect is an elegant symphony orchestral instrument has been colored unexpectedly and like maybe tie-dye, speckled, and even the cat is bespeckled. It's an interesting image to play with for sure. And it's like limitless possibilities with inspiration it's definitely the mind of an artist. And Cancer being this spirit of the river and coming out so strong with your own card front and center, it's saying, Cancer, you are the leader, 555. It's time for you to strike a new path. Cardinal water is what Cancer is. And so Cardinal is the leader, the trendsetter, the starter of the zodiac. And water is the feeling, the consciousness, the intuitive flow. And so I'm feeling like the river is delivering you someplace amazing. Oh, this isn't joyful music. I read it wrong earlier and again tonight. Joyful muse. Even more interesting. So someone or something is the inspiration for you. So connecting even to that inner sense of self, that emerging inner artist. So maybe you're an artist that doesn't think you're an artist because you just haven't found some inspiration in some time. Or maybe you just haven't found your medium. Or maybe you haven't found your audience. I mean, have you seen some of the art that some people throw out there? It doesn't have to be precise imagery that looks realistic. I mean, there's people that are impressionists. There's people that are just color splotchers. There's so much art even in that one area that then you look at music the same way, impressionist jazz compared to symphonic orchestra. There are so many ways to channel your emotional fluctuations, the ups and the downs. You're a powerhouse of emotional memory and emotional healing. You are the cosmic mother of the deck. And you probably get sick of that role sometimes, because when is it time for us to nurture? I would say before it's time for us to nurture others. You got to put that mask on your own face in the airplane if it's going down before you put it on your kid's face, which sounds selfish, but it's necessary. So, joyful muse inspiration is actually, before I move on, so the way these are laid out, root is coming up with stars in the sky. So everything that we have been cosmically is accumulated here. And look at the palms with this energy coming up from them. To me, it looks like this person's on a swing. And it also looks like they're on a bridge. It's a little bit deceiving, but I'm kind of seeing this as having fun with the possibilities and letting ourselves just kind of test the waters, put one foot in, one foot out, see what feels right to us here. Spirit of the river is allowing those emotional fluxes to move through us. That's what I'm feeling this dynamic card is, some way to bring that emotional healing and nurturing into your artistic medium or gift or project or collaboration, and expressing that in some type of form. So if you don't feel confident using your voice, using an instrument, or if you don't feel confident using the notes that express so precisely, then using a paintbrush, whatever you need to do. This is emerging. Your gifts are emerging. Your audience is emerging. And the cast and characters that will support and inspire you are emerging into your conscious awareness and creating an overflow of inspiration and also a triggering of emotion. So I'm also feeling like there may be this underlying undercurrent of not feeling like there's enough time, not enough money, not enough potential partners, not enough fish in the sea, not enough people on our wavelength, or whatever you're thinking there is not enough of. There's limitless possibilities. There's limitless stars in the sky. Moving with your emotions is going to unlock a dimension of your soul essence, your soul song, and an element of your healthy self-pride at 11:11 and self-respect, and you'll find yourself standing straighter, feeling more balanced because you've expressed that. Even if you are not feeling like you're a great singer, you can just intone in monotones, in varying tones, whistles, whatever you do to, I'm just feeling this music as like instead of YouTube, I mean, definitely listen to me, I mean, of course. But instead of binge watching advice from others, putting yourself into the mode of some music that can deliver you into a different awareness will help you to channel your spiritual gifts and your inspiration instead of your fear and anxiety and your logic. You know, because creativity doesn't follow the logic as much. So there's some type of triggering event, some type of scarcity, maybe hardship with money or a relationship recently that's kind of reminding you, or maybe even something that has come in that's reminded you of the abundance coming in. Limitless possibilities with one individual, one job, or just seeing more than you have before may come from an experience of release, extreme release of pent-up emotion, repressed thought forms, just emerging things that you thought had healed, being re-triggered by attending an event that's emotional in nature, or viewing a movie that is, or even a commercial. You know, once you start to awaken and you're still watching TV and still going about your life like everything is fine, and all of a sudden they put these little sad puppies on the screen and cancer, I'm sure you're just like welling up with tears. I'm sure it just knocks right at the heart space. You know, hearing somebody speak to their pet is so adorable. It lets us know where that emotional tide and that emotional current wants to carry us. It wants to bring us into the current and into the flow, so that we're in the center of the river, not clinging to the banks for safety or security, but this is like dynamic surrender to the flow of the cosmic river, to the universal flux and flow, trusting wherever you might go. Feast of plenty coming out here. This gives me real Two of Swords energy, like trying to limit our abundance so that it comes to us in small bite-sized chunks because it's overwhelming and sometimes too much, and sometimes an opportunity that's too amazing can threaten us, our sense of comfort zone, or many other things, our sense of reality, our sense of deserving. And so don't block your own blessings. There's a harvest to be had here. Perhaps, I mean, it's also giving me this imagery of the sword and the stone and removing Excalibur from the stone, and it's in a crystal ball with a bee on it. So it's like the Two of Swords, and the 20 card at that. It's extreme clarity, a crossroads, a conflicting belief, cognitive dissonance with who we used to be, and emerging into the next level us that is here for us is on the table. And I think that the more that you create this gift, this beautiful intonation of whatever you're bringing in, you're going to be amazed and delighted at how many people you're able to bring along with you, to inspire them to reinvest in their sacred center, in their sacred gifts. Yeah, if you've got some sacred gifts, I would love to see your creations. So, getting into some tarot, as I told the other signs, I'm not sure I'm going to continue to do the code cards and the tarot in a reading. It's just too long. But I started out doing the first one as a full read so that we can catch everybody up, get our messages out there, and so that you can have an idea what to expect if we were to go into an extended pay-for reading or a membership down the road, which are things I'm just toying around with now. Because, you know, YouTube is a free market right now where you get as much as you can take in, but then you get the extras. So we'll just see if I can monetize this and still allow the initial message to be free and shared publicly. That would be perfect. So popping out from the deck, we have the back side of the Seven of Wands. It's like he's been guarding and defensive, and crabs, you have that outside crustacean shell sidestepping here and there, but you can come off as combative sometimes when there's any type of criticism. It can come across as less than constructive, and it can come across sometimes, especially with these, I'm feeling like being who you are, you like to be on the leading edge, and if somebody challenges or questions, then it's like they're challenging your ego, perhaps. And that's not for all cancers. Take the messages as you need. This could be somebody in your environment, and you're the one that doesn't want to fight, and this person is always like, what do you mean, right? Coming back up and posturing with you. We see this coming through with the backside of the Ace of Swords. The cloud is, or excuse me, the backdrop is sort of cloudy, foggy, misty, dusky perhaps, but that Ace of Swords cuts through the din. It's still truth, no matter if it's light or dark. The truth is the truth, and sometimes the truth hurts, and sometimes these people could be a lot nicer, but Cancer, you have that hard shell for a reason. Don't let your inner world become hidden away. Don't hide away your treasures from the people who are inspired and the truths that you can convey by using your strong, empowered, purposeful voice and actions to come through when you need to come through for yourself as well. And I don't think you typically are a person who shrugs away from that. But on the same token, don't annihilate with that sword. You know, just bring the truth and let the truth be its truth in its grace, in its simplicity, in its kindness, instead of its sometimes urge to wound others as we feel we've been wounded, right? Retaliation is coming through. The eagle rises above the storms and is bringing in that laurel wreath of victory. So even though it seems dark right now, you have the victory in your hand. And the victory doesn't always mean we get what we want. We don't always get what we want, but we get what we need. Am I breaking all kinds of copyright rules when I'm saying all these song lyrics? I think in song lyrics sometimes. I hope that helps. I mean, we've got the joyful muse here of inspiration. So music is definitely got song or some messages in the songs that come across that you would seek out. So listen to high vibrational music as much as you can, but whatever makes you feel good in the emotional state that you're in, but know what makes you feel better and worse so that you can pick up your head and not feel so lethargic and downtrodden and left alone, cold and empty home. Don't stay there by yourself if you are wanting to come out and play. Don't just get on the same old social media platform, because that will drain your energy and your vital resources. You need to get into the flow of inspiration, not the news feed flow, because that'll only take you where the algorithm of your pre-existing energy is at generally. If you feed it one thing, it'll say, oh, well, this person loves to hear depressing news stories. Here you go. So anyways, yeah, laying some of those swords to rest, kind of becoming bored and uninspired has been coming through. So if it's a fear or an anxiety, you need to do what it takes to seek out the spiritual guidance, the messages, the practical steps of alignment and doing to bring yourself back to what feels good, because the way that you feel is so important. So under the deck, I didn't show you before, we have the backside of the Ace of Cups. Perhaps looking, and behind her you can see an approaching suitor perhaps, or a lost traveler that's encountering this gorgeous fountain of love and abundance and overflow. We've got overflow, overwhelm, and plenty, feast of plenty, spirit of the river. It's like whatever we want, we can have plenty of. We need only to look in the direction of either the sun or the darkness. Maybe that's why my face is suddenly light and dark. I opened this door and I just can't get enough. The birds are out, the sun is out, and I was thinking before your reading, has it been this beautiful for hours while I've been in here recording? It's time to get out into nature, out into the sun. So this is my last recording today. The world is moving on, whether we get out and enjoy it, or whether we sit back and point fingers at how it could be better or more comfortable for our comfort zone. There's an abundance here. This Nine of Pentacles shows a foundation awakening, or us awakening to the foundation of abundance in our life. And here we see her exchanging birding messages with somebody in that tower window behind the bird. Do you see them in the top window? It's hard to perceive. But messages have started, and so if you're corresponding with others, if you're lonely, seek out people that are friends, people that are supportive, uplifting, and conscious individuals. Don't seek out conflict. Invest in your good flowing energies. There's healing going on here in the background. We're seeing them coming through the other side here. And in the near future, that's a powerful 8 of Wands, bringing in some clear messages I feel from Spirit. We've got the winged Pegasus horse there, and that lightning bolt with the fresh growth there is showing that there's some epiphanies coming through. Some messages from Spirit are finding their way into your psyche. They're lighting a fire under your seat so that you will get up and move towards the things that you like. Make sure that you're not taking in too much alcohol, too many of other people's advisory things, and TV and anything, alcohol, lower vibrational, anything at this time, because you're very susceptible and you're going to speak powerfully on everything that comes through you. And this is time for you to bloom. It's time for you to have that DNA upgrade. And I'm seeing then the Queen of Swords, the back of her, so not giving your energy and attention to the things that you need to defend against. Take back your energy from those intruders in your energy field so that you're speaking into fruition your boss mode. So yes, we're closing out that cycle. Okay, so yeah, we're seeing that this clarifying this Seven of Wands, this sense of defensiveness and having come out on the high ground, but what's it all worth? Because there's nobody left. Because we forgot maybe to invest in some new, in addition to severing the old and unworthy. We were looking at what was wrong, and now we have this invitation to look into the new. So the World, a card of fulfillment, celebration, closing out a previous cycle. Is clarifying that. So, okay, I got confused for a moment. So it's almost like we turn around and we're suddenly like, with that Seven of Wands card, it gives me the image like suddenly you enter the room and you're like, what was this conflict about? What was I looking for? What was I just doing? Was I saying something? And it's closing out the cycle of feeling like we're lost and just wandering aimlessly because we're so busy seeking more joy and more fulfillment. It simply, we can't get enough. We're running from one exciting inspiration to the next and wishing that there were unlimited hours and lifetimes to bring all of this through our energy and enjoy every tasty little morsel of this 3D reality. But we're not always in that space. So over the Ace of Swords in that winter wreath coming in, we have the Chariot, that rhinoceros. He's like a little unicorn, isn't he? Maybe not so little. But he's going out on a limb. There's a lot of vines crawling up under his feet. It's like the addiction is down below and he's coming out over the top of it. The sun is out. Discipline and determination. So it's staying the course. The Chariot is like, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Do you want to have an adventure or do you want to be on a hamster wheel? You can give the illusion. You can stay busy all day long. Busy, busy, busy. Tidy house. Go, go, go. But you have to reassess the reasons for doing those things instead of, or avoiding those things. Same message, different sides of one coin. But having the discipline and determination to balance your life in a way that feels really good is going to bring that winner's wreath to you in some type of a way. You're going to be delivered. I'm seeing the miracle card, even though it's not there. It was out earlier. The Shadow. Yeah, we've talked about this a little bit. It's covering the Four of Swords in that complacent energy where he's got his head hung and he's not paying attention to anything. His life is passing by and he's in a nightmare. The Shadow. Self-empowerment and ambition. There's a reason we have the leader, entrepreneur, trendsetter, boss here. So you don't have to monetize everything. Certain things can definitely remain free, barter, whatever. But there's an element of feeling your own provider, your own proud contributor that is proven. And that's one of the biggest things with retirement is that you have to have something very diverting, that keeps you accountable, that keeps you bringing it every day. What needs to be awakened? Definitely the ambition to be a boss, but also your gratitude and sense of fulfillment yet again with that Nine of Shells. Nine of Shells is the Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment, and he's got his little treasure trove of shells there. You have quite the little nest egg, little penguin. I love this. It was under the deck before I started. The Sun, hummingbird energy, and it happens to be under one of the decks I wasn't going to use. It's the card 2929 that comes through reminding me of my mother. She showed herself as a hummingbird to me. There's this healing coming through, this very high vibrational energy of the sun, vitality and joy. Come out and play. Remember the messages. They're seeking you too. Come together magnetically with your destiny. Be enough for yourself. Seven of Acorns, determination and stamina. We're talking about it yet again with that badger. He's coming through with those messages of spirit. Spirit is bringing you home. 3 of feathers. Release and recover. You need to release the end, release any endings, release ancestral essences from holding them and attaching to them, to let them not be something that is a sadness or a veil or shroud of darkness around you any longer. Allow yourself to be happy that they've transitioned. Allow yourself to release them and to recover your wholeness. So, I'm going to have to cut your reading just a little bit short here. So we're going to do a real quick clarification. And then I'm going to get out in the sun. Let's see. So over... Oh, that was your clarifying. That was your clarifying layer. Thank you. Seeker of Challenges apparently wanted to come out, this dark knight with his sword and his dark horse. Make sure you're not the anti-hero of your own story here. Seeker of Visions with his harp. Create the vision that you want to live. No longer keep yourself fixated and stagnant and stuck, believing that you've done all there is, because life is ongoing. Until you are ready to, transition yourself, there is always more life to be lived. And if you're not in that space, there's no shame in seeking therapy. There's no shame in saying it out loud to people. And it will allow you to call to the people that have the messages and the reinforcement, support that you need. 1111 Twin Flame under the deck. So, and under that too, we have I Dream About You, Gratitude, reassess your reasons for busyness, prioritize your goals. You have big things to accomplish no matter how old you are. Long distance, you may have come a long way. There may still be a long road ahead of you, but get back out of the house, be a little bit more extroverted, reclaim your power through self-care. Young female under that, so awakening wake-up call. Maybe some of you are coming back out and joining with a feminine energy, this 1111, with a 3333 too. This is self-mastery. So, alright, let's leave you with some Tao message, insight, inspiration, Cancer. I want you to be creatively inspired and to know how amazing your gifts are and that they are cycling through you at all times. You just need to release resistance. There we go. You probably have an excellent singing voice. And if you don't, who cares? Sing anyways. Using your voice is an incredible source of magic. Some love and prayer. 14. Look and it can't be seen. Listen and it can't be heard. Reach and it can't be grasped. Above it isn't bright, and below it isn't dark. Seamless, unnameable. It returns to the realm of nothing. Form that includes all forms. Image without an image. Subtle beyond all conception. Approach it and there's no beginning. Follow it and there is no end. You can't know it, but you can be it, at ease in your own life. Just realize where you come from. This is the essence of wisdom. So I want you to form these down messages as they hit you, but there's definitely a very deep message in there. Like even this whole reading, you can come out of this and be as confused as you were before you came in, but the messages are clear and simple and repeating for a reason. They don't have to be super profound. It's in the simplicity that the profound is illuminated. It's in the simple steps that we take daily to honor and protect our energy and honor our sacredness and our cycle of healing. It's in that we emerge renewed, replenished. And I guess that's that. So, all right. So that's the end of the message. I will say thank you so much for joining, for all of your shared energy. The more you share, the more I can check in with your vibe, and it'll come out in the readings more and more. I appreciate all of your interactions, likes and shares and comments and subscribes. If you're so inclined, I appreciate it very much. It allows me to grow the channel and to do what I do and to provide free messages. And look forward to doing more with you guys in the future. I'll be filming many other things, workshops, lectures, activations, meditations, building, gardening, and so many other things. So stay tuned and stay sacred. Honor yourself. Maybe you need a bath, Cancer. So, all right, say what needs to be said and bring your ideas to the forefront. You have a very powerful message that's waiting to be revealed. One last message. I know that you're feeling a certain type of a way. I can feel it. You're destined for greatness on the wings of love. We see this twin flame. So if you're still playing a toxic back and forth game, that one may not be your twin flame essence. When you begin to find love in people and places where you haven't found it before, it's always because you've grown. You so rock the universe. Yeah, maybe you're limiting your possibilities here by staying hooked on an old lover, an old boss, or something like that. And there's definitely a need to cut anchor from the shore and be delivered to your blessings. Trust. Comparisons are odious because they presume all other things are equal, which is never the case. Between me and you. Universe. Old souls use words very sparingly, except for, of course, I, love, thank you, wow, now, and cool. Wow, I love you now, the universe. Which sounds way better than wow, now I love you. Excuse me, I said that wrong. Wow, I love you now. It sounds bad either way to me. But I love you presently. I love you now, in this moment. Release yourself. Maybe it doesn't have to last forever. Maybe it's just in the moment that you release the comparison of, is this better than, is this worse than, is there more, is this not good enough, is this, the judgments and comparisons are keeping you stagnant. All right, it's time for us to go. I will leave you with that. I love you all so very much. Take good care of yourself. Bye.